Hello and welcome to Always Obsolete. This video will be the first in the series that I call Beige Box to God Box, where I'll be working on a rather mundane old PC, upgrading it with alternate and improved components, making it easier to use and increasing the overall quality and performance of the audio and video outputs. Today we'll be looking at this machine, which is a Pentium I 233 MHz MMX. I would like to tell you that I pulled this from a dumpster or that I found it on the curbside somewhere, but it's actually a purchase I made off Facebook Marketplace from an experienced PC builder. The case is in great shape and the core will provide a strong foundation to complete the Godbox build I have in mind for a computer of this era. Before I get into my upgrades though, I'd like to introduce what was included with the machine I purchased. Here we have an AT case housing a Sparkle 300 watt power supply. 5 expansion bays are being used with various cards, which you will see in detail in a few moments. Notice we have that compact flash card sticking out of one of the slots. For now, let's get the case off of this thing and take a quick look at the inside so we can go over some motherboard, memory, and disk drive details. The motherboard is a socket 7 ASUS Teac P4. Here we have the standard 3.5-inch floppy, 32X CD drive, and a 4.3 gig Seagate hard disk. That's interesting because we also have that modern compact flash drive at the back. Looking at the layout here in detail, we have a CR2032 replaceable coin cell battery, and at the top we have our onboard L2 cache, so no cache on a stick module to deal with here. We have 3 ASUS slots and 4 PCI slots. This motherboard can also accept AT and ATX power inputs. For RAM, we have 4 32-bit SIM sockets and 2 64-bit DIMM sockets. Our machine is using one DIMM with 64 megs. And finally, the PS2 mouse connector. That's why we saw earlier at the back, the PS2 mouse connects through an expansion bracket as opposed to being next to the keyboard, which you would see on an ATX design. Here are all 5 cards that have been pulled out. We have our compact flash drive, networking, modem, video, and sound. First up is the compact flash drive. Now, obviously, this isn't error correct. This is for easy transfer of large files from other machines, but it can also act as a silent hard drive. So this made me curious as to why the builder included this in addition to that actual Seagate 4.3 gig hard disk. I'm also curious as to why these next 2 cards were included. We have a Kingston network card and a Connextent modem. Spoiler alert, I won't be including these in the final build, but I might keep that network card on hand for a future project. Now on to the interesting cards. For a video, we have the Trident TGUI 9440. Not a great card. I mean, it's going to handle most of your classic DOS games just fine. You'll see some testing in later videos in the series when I get into early 3D gaming. This will be an area that I want to supercharge, right? But even for 2D stuff, Windows desktop resolution, that sort of thing, I think we can do better. Finally, our sound card, we have the OPTI 82C924 with a Yamaha OPL3, which provides good DOS compatibility. Again, in a future sound-oriented video, I'll get into more detail, but in my initial testing, there's a huge reason why I'll definitely want to replace this component. So that about wraps up the introduction to this computer. In the near future, I'll be releasing another 3 or 4 videos in the series, upgrading to and testing the new sound, video, and file management components. Be sure to be on the lookout for those unless you are already watching in the future, in which they are available to check out now. I will leave a component list for the build as is today in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching and see you next time.